So we're sitting in butterfly Baddha Konasana. Sitting towards the edge so the spine is straight, soles of the feet pressing in towards each other. Hold on to your ankles, or you can, if you can sit upright, you can hold around your toes. Press out towards your knees. If this doesn't feel good, then you can just sit in cross-legged position, but you want to lift the chest up, roll the shoulders back and down. Close your eyes. So you're activating the pelvic floor, drawing the navel up and in. The shoulders relax, so you don't want to be pulling too much with the arms. Start to draw the breath in nice and deep. Lengthening the breath and making the out breath just that bit longer than the in breath. Just quietening the mind, drawing your attention to the breath. Okay, then opening your eyes. Good morning all. Bring your hands to the outside of the knees, bring the knees together, then come into a cross-legged position. Actually, come off the block. So you want to have actually a deep cross. So rather than just crossing at the ankles, draw the feet away from each other and then flex at the ankles. This is going to protect the knee joint, but if there's any pain, come out of it. And then hands beside you, lift your hips and take them back a little. So you want the front shin in line with the front of the mat. Keep the ankles flexed, lift up through the chest, squeeze the core, start to lean forward, fingertips in front of you and just slide them away from you. So press the fingertips down and then draw your chest up, straight arms, draw the shoulder blades down your back. We're trying to roll the front of the pelvis forward. Should feel a nice hip stretch. And walk the fingertips back. Lean back, uncross and cross again, but now the opposite leg in front. Readjust, so slide the feet away from each other, flex at the ankles, lift up through the chest, squeeze your pelvic floor, roll forward, fingertips down, slide them away from you. You can relax your head. Concentration is on the hips, so as you press the fingertips down, draw your shoulder blades down your back, lift your chest and roll the hips forward. And then inhaling, coming back up and just comfortable cross-legged now. Take the arms wide, sit up nice and tall, so pressing down through the sitting bones, lifting the chest up, and then crossing left over right arm. Bend at the elbows. If you can, the palms will touch, otherwise just draw the backs of the hands towards each other. Squeeze the elbows, lift them to shoulder height, lower your chin. So shoulders away from ears, but feeling that shoulder stretch. Keep the lift up through the core, relax your hips. Inhale and then exhale, take the arms wide. Now the left arm goes under, right on top. Palms or backs of the hands towards each other, elbows lift. chin towards chest. And then exhale, release, come to stand. So one quick thing about the sole of your foot. I know a few of you have got issues with ankles and so on. So to help stretch the sole of the foot, you can do this funny heel toe walk. So heel and roll it right forward and come up onto the toes. So heel up on toes, heel up on toes. And just, you can do it if you were out, you can do it in your trainers. But obviously it's really good to be barefoot every now and then, but not too much around the home with flip-flops or slippers, etc. Because if you've got sore calves or Achilles, sole of the foot, not so good. So that's just one little thing you can do through the day. So coming into mountain, feeling that alignment as you press down into the earth, feel the energy lifting up. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, hands up, look up. Exhale, floating to Uttanasana, forward fold. Tip the hips up. You can bend your knees if you need to. Relax the head. Hold on to elbows, or if you can, fingertips or palms to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Palms into shins, extend the chest. Tip the tailbone up. Feel that hamstring stretch. Bend your knees, palms down. Stepping back. Roll into plank. Before you go down, don't forget about the pose in the middle here before you touch the mat, is pressing up between the shoulder blades, hug the outer hips towards each other. Gaze is just neutral, so the neck is long. Draw the shoulder blades down a little and then turn the eye of the elbow forward so you can bend your elbows by your rib cage. You can drop your knees and then lower to the mat. Inhale. Cobra or up dog, tops of the feet press down so the kneecaps lift. Press the pubic bone down, lift the chest, draw it between the arms. Exhale, lowering down, tuck your toes, lift straight up or via knees to down dog. So place your hands well, index finger forward, fingers spreading from there and pressing through the whole of the palm and the finger pads. You can paddle your knees up and down, just feeling through the backs of the legs, stretching the calves, nice and steady and slow. But squeeze your core, lift your hips, feel as if you're trying to take the weight out of your wrists. Inhale, up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward, come forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up through the thighs, the core, the chest, arms come up. Urdhva Hastasana, hands up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. So just doing one sun salute today. I wanted to do a little classic runners sequence. So we're going to take our right foot back, fingertips down either side of the front foot, runner's lunge. So we want to be back up on the ball of the right foot, up on your tented fingertips, so you're not sinking forward. You want to get light through the chest, squeeze the thighs to the midline, lift up through the back thigh, reach the chest forward. So long through the spine, reach the crown of the head away from the back heel. Feel that hugging to the midline, so activate the thighs, squeeze them towards each other. Exhale, drop the back knee and flatten the foot. You can pad the knee if you need to. So we should be on your knees are hip distance apart. So we're not trying to balance. You've got a bit of space between the thighs. So hands to the front thighs, sink the hips down. The back knee should be away from the hips, so feeling this lovely long line of stretch. And then lift the right arm up, lean over to the left. So feeling this lift up out of the hip. A lot of tension here. So if we're running, cycling, or sitting a lot, there's a lot of atrophy in the hip area. Okay, then coming hand back to thigh. And then we're going to squeeze, tuck the right toes under. You're going to bring your arms to the side, and as you inhale, lift the arms up, squeeze through the glutes, the back thigh, lift to high lunge. Reaching up, draw the shoulder blades down. It's like a little back bend. Tuck the tailbone under, look up at so your gaze is between your thumbs. Exhale. Fingertips down, you're back into runner's lunge, and then step the right foot next to the left. Relax the head down, forward fold. Then inhale, lifting the chest. Fingertips down, you're going to take the left foot back. Runner's lunge. So up on your fingertips, either side of the front foot. Squeeze the thighs to the midline, so the right knee is above the right ankle. Lift up through the back thigh, reach your chest forward. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Gaze is just in front of the mat. Keep the neck long. Keep that squeeze, midline, feel the pelvic floor engage. Exhale, drop the back knee. Flatten the foot, come up onto the front thigh. Now the front knee can come forward of the ankle. Sink your hips, tuck your tailbone, lift your chest. So just waking up the hip flexor here, the psoas muscle. Then inhale, lift your left arm, lean over to the right. Keep sinking the hips, trying to scoop the tailbone a little. And then exhale, tuck the left toes under, arms by your side. Squeeze your glutes on the inhale, lifting up to high lunge. Arms reach up, gaze goes up between the thumbs, squeeze the thighs to the midline. So bending the right knee should be above the right ankle. So trying to sink but lift through that back thigh. It doesn't matter if the knee is bent, that means you're a bit too tight through the hamstrings, but if you can, that's where you're aiming for, is to lift strongly up through the back thigh, then squeeze to the midline. Look up. Draw the shoulders away from ears. Then exhale, fingertips down. Step the left foot forward. Bend your knees slightly, ragdoll. So relax your head, hold onto your elbows. Just hang it out there, and then slowly start to straighten up through the thighs. So lifting the tailbone, lifting the kneecaps. Okay, and then inhale, just coming up slow. We're going to take the left foot back, but just 2 or 3 feet. And you're on train tracks, so feet are hip distance apart, hands to your hips. Now you're going to turn the hips to level with the front of the mat. So lift up through the thighs, so kneecaps engage. And then take your hands behind you, hold on to your elbows. If you can, you'll do reverse prayer, which is to bring the palms Anjali Mudra. So prayer, palms behind you, which is helping to open through the chest at the same time. But if that's not happening today, then just hold on to your elbows. You want the left foot turned out slightly. So draw the right thigh bone up and back. Draw the left hip forward, so hips are level. Lift up through the kneecaps, start to lean forward. Really squeeze the core. Lift up strongly through the thighs. Gaze is down, neck is long. So this is your iliotibial band as well as your hamstring stretching. So that connective tissue from the outside of the hip to the outside of the knee. You might feel it more in the back of the thigh. If you want, you can stay here. If you want to deepen it, you can release your arms. You can either come hands to the block, so you're a bit lower, or fingertips either side. But if you go lower, you need to really draw that right thigh bone back up and roll the left side of the hip forward. Keep the hips level. Relax your head. And then to come out, go the same way. So reach the chest forward, either hands clasping elbows or hips, squeeze the thighs towards each other. Come up with the flat back. Step the left foot forward. Take the right foot back into pyramid. So feet hip distance apart. Right toes pointing slightly out. Swivel the hips to face the front of the mat. Take your variation, but keep lifting up through the kneecaps. Tilt the pelvis, the chest forward. So if you're holding onto elbows, you get that shoulder stretch as well, just broadening through the collarbone. So as you come lower, if you're going to go lower, you'll really feel that left side of the hip wants to swing round. So draw it back. Fingertips to the block or folding. Come out the way you went in. Inhale, lift the chest. Squeeze the thighs. Reach the chest forward. Come up, step to the front of the mat. Okay, then inhaling, stepping wide on the mat. So you want to have the outer edges of your feet parallel. Prasarita Padottanasana. So there are 3 versions of this, but we're going to do a 4th, which is you're going to draw up through the thighs, tilt the front of the pelvis forward, try not to take the hips back too far. Tipping the tailbone up, squeeze your core. Tip the tailbone up and then gently releasing the fingertips in front of you. Bring the weight more towards the balls of the feet. Lift up strongly through the thighs. And then we're going to do a little twist while we're here. So walk your fingertips. So if you need to bend your knees a little, that's fine, but you still want to keep the chest reaching towards the thighs a little. Walk over to one foot. You're going to take hold of the ankle. Lift up through both thighs and then drop. So onto my left leg, and I'm going to drop my right shoulder under. Relax my head down. So strongly lifting through the thighs. And you're going to walk the hands back to center. Right palm down. And then twisting up, left arm up. Press through the lower palm. If you don't quite feel that shoulder rotation and it's just your arms stuck at a funny angle, just bring your top hand to your hip. But you're tipping the tailbone up, trying to keep the hips in line with the ankles, rolling that top shoulder open. Extend through the crown of the head and the tailbone so the spine is long. And then exhale. Release the hands next to each other. Walk your fingertips towards the right or opposite ankle. Lift up through the thighs. Start to drop the lower shoulder, roll the head round. So you're holding on to you're holding on to the ankle with both hands, dropping the lower shoulder. So what I'm feeling in this one is that Anna and I went for a run yesterday. My calves are a bit tight. I'm actually feeling like this prickling sensation down the front of my shin, as well as hamstrings and so on. So that's not a bad thing. It's more that the inside of my thighs are really, really tight. So this is really good. This wide leg forward fold is to open up the inside of the knee, that vastus muscle there, and also the lower calf. So, but if it doesn't feel good, then don't do it. Okay, now we're dropping that shoulder into the twist, feeling lovely strong stretch. Walk your fingertips back to center. Keep the hips nice and high. Now it's going to be the left palm down just under the shoulder. Squeeze the thighs as you lift. So don't just throw your arm up randomly. It's extend through the chest, rolling from the rib cage, almost so sort of from your navel starting to twist. Press through the palm to help with that twist. Keep tipping the tailbone up, looking up, and then exhale, hands down. Heel toe, your feet come down into child's pose. So knees wide, toes touching, sit back towards your heels, reach your arms in front, forehead, tip of the nose touching the mat. Keep the arms active here, just give the shoulders a little stretch. So as you draw the tailbone towards your heels, press through the palms, lift your forearms, and then push the palms away from you. So feel that spine stretch as you tuck the tailbone towards the heels. Lovely length in the spine. If you find that you're really high, your head is dangling, then just prop it on a towel or a block. And then draw, the hands stay in the same position, but press the palms down, draw the shoulder blades down your back, as you press down, you feel the back body activating. And then inhale, coming up onto your knees, come to sit. Rest your hands on your thighs or in your lap. Close your eyes, sitting nice and tall. Draw the breath in, inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. Bring your palms together at your heart center, lowering your head and opening your eyes. Namaste, everyone. Have a lovely day.